Cao Cao raised his sword to kill Zhang Liao, but Liu Bei quickly grabbed his arm, while Guan Yu knelt down before Cao Cao. Liu Bei said, "A man of such loyalty and sincerity should be kept alive and put to good use." Guan Yu also said, "I have long known Zhang Liao to be a man of loyalty and righteousness. I am willing to guarantee him with my very life." Cao Cao laughed heartily, threw away his sword, and said, "I too know that Zhang Liao is loyal and righteous. I was merely jesting with him." He personally untied Zhang Liao's ropes, gave him his own robe to wear, and invited him to sit at his side. Deeply grateful, Zhang Liao surrendered to Cao Cao. Cao Cao appointed Zhang Liao as commandant of the Central Army and infected him as a marquis within the passes, then sent him to persuade Zhang Ba to submit. Hearing that Lu Bu had been executed and that Zhang Liao had surrendered, Zhang Ba led his troops to submit to Cao Cao. Cao Cao rewarded him generously. Zhang Ba then persuaded Sun Guan, Wu Dun, and Yinli to surrender as well, though Changshi still refused. Cao Cao appointed Zhang Ba as Chancellor of Langya, and Sun Guan and the others were also made local officials to guard the coastal regions of Qing and Su. Cao Cao brought Lu Bu's wife and daughter back to Xuchang, rewarded the army, and began his return. As they passed through Shuzhou, the common people burned incense and blocked the road, begging Liu Bei to stay as their governor. Cao Cao said, "The accomplishments of Governor Liu are great. Once he is infected by the Son of Heaven, he may return." The people kowtowed in gratitude. Cao Cao ordered General Che Zhou to temporarily govern Shuzhou, then returned to Xuchang. There he rewarded the generals who had campaigned with him and gave Liu Bei a residence beside the chancellor's mansion. The next day, Emperor Xian held court. Cao Cao memorialized Liu Bei's achievements and presented him before the emperor. Liu Bei, dressed in court robes, bowed on the scarlet steps. The emperor asked, "Who are your ancestors?" Liu Bei replied, "I am a descendant of Lu Sheng, Prince Jing of Zhongshan, grandson of Emperor Jing. I am the grandson of Lu Xiong, son of Lu Hong." The emperor ordered the genealogical records to be read aloud. The imperial clerk recited, "Emperor Jing had 14 sons. The seventh was Lu Sheng, Prince Jing of Zhongshan. His line passed down to Marquis of Luqing Luzhen, then to Luong, Marquis of Pei, continuing to Lu Xiong, who begot Lu Hong, who held no office. Liu Bei is Lu Hong's son." Comparing the record, the emperor realized Liu Bei was indeed his uncle. Overjoyed, he invited Liu Bei into the side hall and treated him with the rights due to an imperial uncle. The emperor thought secretly, "Cao Cao monopolizes all power, and I cannot decide state affairs. Now that I have an imperial uncle by my side, heaven has granted me aid." Liu Bei was infected as Marquis of Yicheng Pavilion and appointed General of the Left. A banquet was held in his honor, and he was henceforth addressed by all as Imperial Uncle Liu. Back at his residence, Cao Cao's advisors Sun Yu and others came forward, saying, "The emperor has recognized Liu Bei as his uncle. This may not bode well for you." Cao Cao replied, "Since he is an imperial uncle, I can command him even more strictly under the emperor's authority. Moreover, keeping him here in the capital makes it appear he is close to the emperor, but in reality he remains under my control. What is there to fear? The one I truly worry about is Grand Commandant Yang Biao. He is kin to Yuan Shu. If he unites with the two Yuans, disaster will follow. We must act at once." Thus Cao Cao secretly fabricated charges that Yang Biao was conspiring with Yuan Shu, had him arrested, and ordered Man Chong to interrogate him. At the time, Kong Rong, administrator of Beihai, was in Xuchang. He remonstrated, "Yang Gong is a man of 4 generations of pure virtue. How can he be punished for the crimes of the Yuans?" Cao Cao said, "This is the will of the court." Kong Rong retorted, "If King Cheng killed Duke Xiao, could Duke Zhou claim ignorance?" Cao Cao, unable to respond, released Yang Biao but dismissed him from office and sent him home. Court gentleman Zhao Yan, angered at Cao Cao's arrogance, submitted a memorial accusing him of disregarding imperial authority and arbitrarily arresting ministers. Enraged, Cao Cao immediately had Zhao Yan seized and executed. All the officials were terrified. Strategist Chengyu then urged Cao Cao, "Your power and reputation now overshadow all others. Why not establish yourself as hegemon?" Cao Cao said, "There are still loyal ministers in the court. It would be unwise to act rashly. I intend instead to invite the emperor on a hunt, to test the sentiments of the court." So Cao Cao prepared fine horses, hunting hawks, hounds, and bows, gathering soldiers outside the city before requesting the emperor to hunt. Emperor Xian hesitated. "Hunting may not be fitting." Cao Cao explained, "Ancient emperors hunted in all 4 seasons. Spring was called So, summer Miao, autumn Xian, and winter Shou. These hunts were not mere sport, but demonstrations of martial preparedness. In these troubled times, we must display our strength." The emperor dared not refuse. Mounted on the horse Xiaoyao, armed with the treasured eagle bow and golden arrows, he set out. Liu Bei, Guan Yu, and Zhang Fei followed with armor and weapons, leading a small guard of horsemen. Cao Cao rode his swift steed Flying Lightning, leading 100,000 troops to accompany the hunt at Su Field. Soldiers formed an enclosure over 200 li wide. Cao Cao and the emperor rode side by side, only a horse's head apart. Behind them were only Cao Cao's trusted generals. All other officials followed at a distance, not daring to approach. When the emperor reached Su Field, Liu Bei awaited by the roadside. The emperor said, "I wish to see my uncle Liu shoot." Liu Bei mounted, and at once a rabbit darted from the grass. He shot it down with 1 arrow, to the emperor's delight. Soon a great stag burst forth from the thicket. The emperor loosed 3 arrows but missed. He turned to Cao Cao. "You try." Cao Cao took the emperor's own eagle bow and golden arrow, drew fully, and struck the stag squarely in the back. It collapsed in the grass. The officials, seeing the golden arrow, assumed the emperor had struck the beast and cried, "Long live his majesty!" Cao Cao, spurring his horse forward, positioned himself before the emperor and received their acclaim. All were startled. Behind Liu Bei, Guan Yu was furious. Eyes wide, blade in hand, he urged his horse forward to strike down Cao Cao. Liu Bei quickly signaled him to hold. Reluctantly, Guan Yu desisted. Liu Bei bowed, saying, "The chancellor's archery is unmatched." Cao Cao laughed. "This is the emperor's fortune." He then turned to congratulate the emperor, but did not return the eagle bow. Instead, he slung it over himself. After the hunt, a banquet was held at Su Field. Then the party returned to Xuchang, and all dispersed. Guan Yu asked Liu Bei, "This traitor insults the emperor and usurps merit. Why did you stop me from killing him and saving the realm?" Liu Bei replied, "To strike a rat when porcelain is near risks breaking the vessel." Cao Cao stood but a horse's head from the emperor, surrounded by his retainers. "If you had failed, the emperor might have been harmed. Then we would all be doomed." Guan Yu said, "If we do not kill him now, he will surely become a great scourge in time." Liu Bei cautioned, "Keep these words hidden. Do not speak rashly." Back in the palace, Emperor Xian wept to Empress Fu. "Since I ascended the throne, villains have risen everywhere. First Dongzhuo tormented me, then Li Ju and Guisi brought chaos. You and I have endured sufferings unknown to ordinary people. I once hoped Cao Cao would aid the state, but instead he seizes all power. Each time I face him, it is like being pricked by thorns. Today he stole credit at the hunt before all, utterly shameless. Surely he harbors treachery. I fear we shall not survive." Empress Fu said, "All the ministers eat the Han's grain. Is there none willing to save the dynasty?" As she spoke, her father Fu Wan entered and said, "Do not despair. I know a man who can eliminate the traitor." The emperor asked, "Do you also see Cao Cao's usurpation?" Fu Wan said, Who did not see the affair at Sioux Field? Alas, most in court are kin or clients of Chow. Who else dares oppose him? I lack the power, but general of chariots and cavalry, Dong Chung is your kinsman. He may be entrusted. The emperor said, Dong Chung has risked himself to save the state many times. Summon him to the palace. Fu Wan warned. Chow's eyes and ears fill the court. If news leaks, all will be lost. The emperor asked, what should be done? Fu Wan proposed, let your majesty bestow upon him a robe and a jade belt. Sew a secret edict into the lining of the belt. None will suspect. The emperor agreed. He wrote the edict in his own blood. Empress Fu sewed it within the lining of the purple brocade, and they summoned Dong Chung. The emperor greeted Dong Chung warmly, led him to the ancestral temple, then into the hall of meritorious ministers, and said, how did my ancestor Gaozu establish the dynasty? Dong Chung replied, he began as a pavilion chief in Sishang. With a 3-foot sword he slew the serpent and rose in arms, conquering the realm, destroying Qin in 3 years, Chu in 5, and establishing Han. The emperor sighed, such were my heroic forebears. How weak their descendants are. He pointed to portraits of Zhang Liang and Xiao He. These are they not? Yes, Dong Chung affirmed. Gaozu succeeded only with their aid. The emperor whispered, I need you to be like them to assist me. He then bestowed upon Dong Chung the robe and belt. Examine them carefully later. Do not fail me. Dong Chung bowed in gratitude and departed. Outside the palace, he encountered Chow Chow, who asked about the robe and belt. Dong Chung, fearful, reluctantly showed them. Chow Chow scrutinized them, but, finding nothing, returned them with a laugh. That night at home, Dong Chung carefully inspected the robe and belt but saw nothing. Just as he despaired, a lamp flower fell and burned the lining, revealing blood-stained silk within. Cutting it open, he found the emperor's blood-written edict, commanding him to raise loyal men to destroy the traitor Chow. Moved to tears, Dong Chung swore to act. Soon Minister Wang Zifu visited and discovered the edict. At first threatening to report him, he revealed his loyalty and pledged to join. Together they signed a blood oath. Then came Zhong Ji and Wu Shu, both outraged by the Sioux Field incident, and they too swore allegiance after reading the edict. Wang Zifu brought in General Wu Xilan, who also pledged. At that moment, Ma Tung, governor of Xiliang, came to visit. At first Dong Chung hesitated, but when he revealed the edict, Ma Tung's wrath blazed forth. He declared he would raise the Xiliang troops as outside support. Swearing blood oaths with them, he urged that still more men be recruited. Consulting the imperial register, he pointed to one more man of the Lu clan, saying, why not consult him as well? And who that man was shall be revealed in the next chapter. Summary. This chapter recounts how, after Lu Bu's execution, Cao Cao pacified surrendered generals like Zhang Liao and Zhang Ba, consolidating power. Liu Bei was formally recognized by Emperor Xian as an imperial uncle, gaining prestige, but remaining under Cao Cao's control. Cao Cao's dominance angered many ministers. Zhao Yan's protest cost him his life, and others kept silent. Cao Cao staged a grand imperial hunt at Sioux Field to flaunt his power, stealing the emperor's credit in front of the court. Guan Yu longed to strike him down, but was restrained by Liu Bei for fear of endangering the emperor. Emperor Xian and Empress Fu, deeply anxious over Cao Cao's usurpation, confided in Fu Wan, who suggested entrusting Dong Chung. Thus was born the famous Edict in the Belt, a secret command written in blood and hidden within a robe and jade girdle. Dong Chung, discovering the edict, gathered loyalists, Wang Zifu, Zhongji, Wu Shu, Wu Xilan, and eventually Ma Tung of Xiliang, who pledged armed support. They formed a clandestine alliance to eliminate Cao Cao, laying the groundwork for the plot against him. Knowledge points. 1. Holding the emperor to command the lords. The novel emphasizes Cao Cao's manipulative control over Emperor Xian. This phrase, though iconic, is later historiographical interpretation rather than a direct quote of the time. 2. Cao Cao's disrespect toward Emperor Xian. Romance of the Three Kingdoms dramatizes incidents like Su Field, portraying Cao Cao as usurping the emperor's honor. Historical records suggest Cao was more respectful, though undeniably powerful. 3. The Edict in the Belt. The story of the blood-written secret edict hidden in a jade belt is a dramatic embellishment of sparse historical notes. The novel expands it into a pivotal scene. 4. Dong Cheng's conspiracy. In history, Dong Cheng indeed plotted against Cao Cao and was executed. However, the detailed oaths, blood edicts, and alliances are literary dramatizations for narrative effect.